Higher Education Minister Dr. Blade Nzimande says those found to have unduly benefited from the National Student Financial Aid Scheme must be held liable. The minister was speaking after revelations that thousands of NSFAS beneficiaries have been defunded. Ishmael Mnisi is spokesperson for the Department of Higher Education and Training, and he joins me now for this discussion. Appreciate your time this evening, Ishmael. Can you provide an overview of the recent recommendations made by the Higher Education Minister regarding students and parents who unduly benefited from NSFAS?
Well, the one recommendation by the minister, actually, it's an understatement to say it's a recommendation. It's a directive to the National Student Financial Aid Scheme that they must consider opening criminal and legal action against students and their parents who deliberately falsified information provided to NSFAS in order for them to benefit irregularly on the scheme funds. So the minister met with the board of NSFAS and also publicly announced his directive to NSFAS so that they should then complete their investigations and their processes so that they then can, identify those unscrupulous students and expose them.
Ishmael, how big a number are these people that have defrauded NSFAS?
Well, at the moment, we won't be able to determine that number because appeals processes are still ongoing, including the finalization of the payments of these other students who were qualified, including those that are yet to be finalized in terms of the payments that were to be done, and including their onboarding. So when all those processes are finalized, when they are onboarded, all of them 100%, all the institutions, when those appeals have been heard, which minister also said they must be done instantly, so that this process of verification of the other students that would have been left to be determined, and should it be found that they deliberately falsified their information or misled NSFAS, proper action must be taken.
So give us a value then. If you can't give us a number, I'm sure you can give us a value of the amount that's been defrauded.
Well, look, as I'm saying, the processes are ongoing, but last year it was more than about 20,000 students that were found to to have defrauded. But as I'm saying, the processes to verify are ongoing, and it will be difficult at this moment just to pop up any number. Because we might come at a later stage with the verified information. So let's rather wait for the process to be concluded and for us to come. But it is a significant amount of money that we are talking about here, which should be used to fund the other students who have qualified, who unfortunately could not be funded.
Now, Ishmael, there are two issues here, and the main issue is obviously that which the minister has highlighted, and given that directives, as you suggested, that these individuals must be taken to task, or charges must be preferred against them. But it also speaks to challenges within your own system. If you can have 20,000 individuals defraud you, that is a huge number. I mean, that is taxpayers' money that is going down the drain because of, is it a system glitch? Where are the challenges that you get 20,000 individuals are able to defraud the institution?
Maybe let's explain how students get qualified at NSFAS. When an application is made by any student, we firstly determine their information supplied by them in terms of the qualification of their parents, if whether they meet the criteria of 350,000, and we use Home Affairs, we use SASSA, we use SARS as a sounding board in terms of these criteria for qualification. Now, in this instance, what had happened is that you've got our returning students who were from the previous, who were funded by NSFAS previously. Now those students, a majority of them, we don't require them to reapply, but we automatically fund them. Now in that process, you pick up instances where some of them have missed the N+ rule, which qualifies them to academically progress. Now as a result of those students get disqualified. For new students, they would either give inadequate information relating to their parents or their guardians. Some of them, they would not give information of parents who they know deliberately that some they earn more than 350,000, or when both the parents' incomes are combined, they will exceed that amount. Now, those are those students that we are saying deliberately they are intending to defraud the scheme. And there are instances as well where data that we receive from some of the institutions will indicate that some of the students are still within the system, only to find that later some of those students exited the system. However, information arrived late, and as a result, NSFAS would have made certain payments. Of course, partly you can accredit some of these challenges that we are having to the systems the new systems that we have introduced, because we've introduced new systems, and in the process there was a lag in terms of the transfer of data from the old to the new system. So partly that has been a problem, but systematic challenges have been corrected by NSFAS, and even those students who were found who were disqualified and later found that they qualified, they have been paid their allowances, but there are those that the system still rejects even at the moment, even after...
Ishmael, I'm afraid that's where we're going to have to leave it for this evening, but we've run short of time. Ishmael Mnisi, spokesperson for the Department of Higher Education and Training.